Welcome to the Intentional Awakening Podcast with your hosts, Kathy Brewer and Terrie Huberman.
Well, hello there and welcome to the Intentional Awakening Podcast. I'm Terrie Huberman.
And I am your co-host, Kathy Groover, and we are going to start this episode, as we do every episode, with an angel card. The angel card today is Strength. The ability to take action regardless of the outer pressures. Measure your strength by the degree to which you are willing to remain true to your values and risk the unknown. I like it. I like it. So find your strength in looking to that inner knowing today. All right. So today we're not going to talk about strength. We thought we would go over some of the signs of awakening.
Yeah.
That's a big search that's going on right now. A lot of my clients, I do a lot of awakening coaching, which sounds kind of silly, but that's what it is. And so people wonder, what are some of the signs? So we're going to make this a short one and then maybe elaborate on this later. Terrie, what were some of the signs that you have experienced as you're going through your awakening? And then I'll share some of mine.
I think it was, because there have been so many awakenings. I think for me, one of the things I noticed in every awakening was that things were going to shit. Like my life was falling apart.
Interesting.
In certain areas. And I think it was so that I can get back on path and start moving in the right direction again. So for me, like a really big breakdown, it was like a huge message from the divine, like, hello, you really need to figure things out here.
Interesting.
It happened several times.
Yeah. This sort of collapse of things and a rebuilding.
And a rebuild.
Yeah. That's probably very common. Yes. And I've been reading more about Kundalini awakening because that's the experience I had during my ayahuasca ceremony. And so many people are talking about just the chaos that initially brings up. Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting. So I just wrote down the slew of ones that I've experienced. So
nice.
I'm completely out of time. I have no idea any concept of time. So if you say, how long ago did you go to such and such? I have no clue. I will go into the bathroom to just take a quick pee and I'll come back out and I say, I'm so sorry that took so long. And Eric's like, you were in there for 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
He'll go in the kitchen to grab something for me. And I'm like, what are you doing in there? And he's like, honey, it's been a minute. So I have no concept of time now, which this is why I keep a book that's so specific because I don't understand how long things take anymore. So that's one of them. The past is really like far away and kind of misty to me. Like, I honestly don't know. This is our third recording today. I don't remember what the first one was.
Right.
We
did a reading.
Oh, that's right. See, okay, so that's part of it.
She's awakening. She's awakening.
Well, it's been happening for a while. I don't have dialogue and like direct fantasy about the future anymore. Have you ever you start to think about something and then you in your head have this whole conversation about what you think that's going to look like and you have this almost fantasy, but I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, I actually can't kind of see the future in a way. It's just kind of like, I know it's there and it's kind of like, I will get there.
Yeah. It's like the time thing. I've always had a huge connection to animals, but the volume has turned up on that. So if our cat is out and I want him to come back, I can think that he'll come back. I'm talking to birds. The squirrels run up to me for food. That might just be conditioning. So that's been fascinating. My dreams have been outrageous. And so often I am actually sitting with masters learning in my dreams. So
I've had that.
That's been really interesting. That's a very common thing with awakening. After the last time I sat with Eckhart Tolle, and I'm actually about to go with him again for a 4-day workshop and in Whistler up in Canada. After I sat with him last time, it was about a year ago in Seattle, for weeks, I had no thoughts. There was just spaciousness. And dude, I gotta say, holy shit, was it fabulous. And they've come back in, but they're not loud anymore. It's as if they're in a separate space. So I'm here and then remember the old fashioned nurseries, in baby units and hospitals where you look through the glass and see all these babies. That's how I feel the thoughts are. I feel like I'm just plugging along and they're there, but I'm disconnected from them. I don't
Yeah.
often get attached to the thoughts and have that fatalistic what if happen. And then the last thing, and this sounds crazy. I can hear the trees.
I don't think that sounds crazy though, but you're
It
talking
is
to
when I
me.
turn to my husband and I go, I hear the trees sing. And he's like, okay. So trees, to me, even to me, it sounds crazy. Um, I I'm a very tactile, physical, like kinesthetic person. And what we had left a barbecue and we were walking down the street and there was this huge, like just wall of shrub and it looked kind of soft. And
Mm.
so I let my hand run down the shrub and it was as if I was petting a cat. I could hear this singing and I'm like, okay. So I have started petting shrubbery. It sounds nuts. They're going to come get me right
No,
now.
no.
I've started like, we've always hugged that make the joke, are dumb tree huggers.
Hug a
Yes,
tree. Yeah.
trees are very conscious beings. They're incredible. And so if I'm really quiet and I stop for a minute and I let the thoughts dissipate, I can hear trees make different sounds. And what's really cool is in Japan, they sounded different.
Oh, I'm sure it's different energy
They
there. Why
sounded
would they sound the same?
I don't know. I've been exposed to a lot of trees in different countries where once I could hear them. So the trees in Santa Barbara tend to sing, like there's this harmonic kind of like la 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 kind of thing. The trees in Japan were almost oming. They were just toning.
Nice.
And then there was, I can't remember where I was, but they were almost sort of giggling. There was this like kind of thing happening. It's
That's cute.
wild. It's
I
wild.
love
And
it. I love it.
so it could be overwhelming because you're suddenly walking around, you're like, oh my God, I can hear the trees.
Yeah.
It's the first time it happens, it's a little trippy. So there's my like list of things from awakening, and I saw you doing a lot of nodding. So I'm sure like,
Well, yeah, I mean, I think there's different levels of awakening, and I think
mhm,
like there's different times, and there are I don't know if the word is repetitions, but it's like a growth. So there are times when one or more are more prominent than the other. Like they're not all at the same time. And that can be different for people.
mhm,
But I think if we go to the bottomest of lines here, like the lowest common denominator is that there's change from who you were to who you
yeah,
are in that now moment. And it could come through thought. It could come through any of your physical senses because it's all energy, right? So it's like there's change and you have awareness of the change. Now,
yep,
sometimes the change are more auditory because maybe they, meaning your guides and your spirit team and all that, are also working on your auditory factors, trying to like hone those in,
mhm,
right? Because people communicate and people learn differently based on their senses. So I think the bottomest of line is like there's a change and I'm aware of the change.
yeah.
Now, how can I get through this change with the least amount of suffering?
That's the
Because it's
second
going to
question.
happen again. It's going to happen again and again and
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
That's why, you know,
Well, and so it's so interesting because I talk to people and they think there's like one boom and you're awake. Oh no, people, this is an unfolding. If you ever read any of Angelo DeLullo's work, and he wrote the book Wake Up, It's Your Turn, as I think what it's called. Really good book. It's a tome. It is thick. But I got to the end and I'm like, God, I wish this would just keep going. It was so beautifully written. And the whole thing was a transmission. Like I felt awakening as I was reading it, which he kind of warned us in the preface. He's like, just so you know, um, he had multiple awakenings over decades. Same thing with Adyashanti. He had one big awakening in his 20s and then that kind of unfolded. Eckhart Tolle's was more like, boom, you're awake. And he went, oh, so it's
yeah.
different with everybody. And don't think, when I first started studying with Eckhart Tolle, I was like, oh, this is what it looks like. You just boom, it happens. And I was getting so bummed that I wasn't having this boom that it happened. And then I realized, oh shit, this has been happening over my lifetime.
Mhm.
And I could start to pinpoint, like Angelo DeLullo, these moments of, oh, that's when that shifted, and oh, that's when that shifted, and that's when that shifted.
Mhm.
So it's not always some big one earth-shattering event. It's an unfolding over years, decades, your lifetime. And you will start to find things falling away, like
Mm-hmm.
friendships and relationships and
Oh,
things that
yes.
no longer serve you, because
Mm-hmm.
you recognize that your energy is sensitive and needs to be sort of coveted in a way. And you're not going to want to quote, I think it's the Bible, cast your pearls before swine, right?
Mm.
You're going to be really a little more selfish
Mm-hmm.
about what you do with your energy, your time, your money, your life. One of my big moments of awakening happened after I left my ex. And so
Yeah.
many people said, you are going to find so much opportunity when you leave your ex. And my life went boom, and it just blossomed after I was no longer stuck. I chose to be there, but stuck in this
Yeah.
energy of negativity. It was 100% true. Things started happening as soon as I was out of that situation.
Mm-hmm. And that's the way it is. It's not a one and done. I think if there's anything we can leave you with is that it's not a one and done, and that you can get through them, and you will.
Yeah.
You actually will. Because if it's your turn to not go through them anymore, you will leave your earth suit. It's that simple.
Yeah.
And that's an awakening.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So
we
there's
can,
always different levels, and it's not a one and done.
yeah. Well, and one of the things I think my next book is going to be my lifetime of awakening. I'm being really called to write more about that spiritual process, because I started out as a strict Catholic and then I was a witch. So, it's like I run the
Yeah.
gamut of
Yeah. Yeah.
spirituality here.
Yeah.
So that might be what I do next. Could be a short book, could be a long book. I don't know. I don't know how long it'll go.
We'll
Anyway, we could
see.
talk about this all day, and maybe in the future episode we'll get into like how to navigate awakening if you're stuck, or if it's kind of torturing you a little bit, or if so stay tuned. We will talk
Yeah.
about that in
That
another
sounds good.
episode. All right, I am Kathy Groover. I could be reached at kathygruver.coach.
And I'm Terrie Huberman. You can find me at terriehuberman.com. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Intentional Awakening podcast, and we'll see you soon.
Yes.